Welcome back to THR. I'm your host, Matador Gabe. Last time we talked about Ready or Not, we ended with a house fire. The Domas line burned out. Grace had just seen Satan. And just when we thought it was over, here comes the new challengers. Bigger stakes, more families, more blood, another date with the devil. Tonight, we talk about Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. When we last left Grace, she was sitting there in all her post-blaze clarity, smoking a cigarette in front of the burning wreckage of the Domas family castle. You know, your standard happily ever after. But here's the thing. Ready or Not 2 doesn't let that moment breathe for very long. It turns out that Grace's survival damage is so severe that she finally passes out and is close to death. Rushed to the hospital, and that's where things start to change. Her winning the night triggered something. A clause.
To the Santa Claus. Here.
The Santa Claus?
No, not that kind. It's something bigger, something older, something that reaches far beyond the ultra-rich Domas household in one game of hide and seek. We learned that the Domas dying at the end didn't end the game, but it actually opened the doors for some other families to try to take their shot at becoming the new top family, which apparently has full control of the entire world. Like we said in the video about the Bone Temple, fucking with the Church of Satan certainly has its perks. It just costs your soul. Now you're probably wondering, who are these people? Among the families, you have a variety of goofy-ass characters that continue to remind you that Ready or Not at its core is horror with a huge dash of dark comedy. First we have the Danforth family. They currently hold the high seat, but because of Grace, their power has been put at risk, and now they will have to participate in the new game if they want to keep it. The problem is the head of the family is the one that has to play. But that's where things start to get interesting. The head of the Danforths is an old-ass man, and he knows what's up, so he relinquishes his power so his heirs, the Danforth twins, can take his place in the game. Yeah, you heard that right. Twins. Titus and Ursula are twins, and right away you can see their power dynamic. Ursula, she's calm, controlled, the one who actually thinks about things. And Titus, well, he can be holding it together, but you can tell that he's probably about to snap. Then you've got the rest of the family heads. You have Viraj from the Rajan family, Chen Xing from the Juan family, Ignacio from El Caído family, and Bill from the Wilkinson family. So we've met all the players, but here's the thing. Neither we nor Grace actually understands what's happening right now. In fact, when Grace comes to, she is handcuffed to the bed, now the #1 suspect in the Danforth Mansion massacre. Then we meet Faith, Grace's sister we never knew about. We didn't know because Grace didn't want anybody to know about her, because their relationship's kinda complicated. Faith is Grace's younger sister, and right away you can tell she and Grace don't get along. In fact, there's a lot these two haven't discussed in the time they've been apart. They do a great job setting up the tension between the two, which will be a foundational focus for the story. Okay, so we know the players, but what's the game? Well, the game is familiar. It's another round of hide and seek where Grace is the target. However, before the start of the game, the devil's lawyer, played by Elijah Woods, explains all of the game's bylaws and rules, telling the families they will be competing with one another to see who can kill Grace first. The family that manages to get the final kill gets the high seat. Within the game, there are tons of bylaws in play that keep the families reined in, such as a rule that states if the head of the family dies, their heir will take their place in the game. Also, if any players kill another family's player, even by accident, then their whole family is disqualified. And by whole family, we mean their entire lineage is wiped out. And you might be thinking, okay, here we are. Another rehashing sequel. Let's just do what the first did, again. And you're sort of right, but not all the way right. Ready or Not 2 works really hard to show you that you can continue developing a storyline without failing to provide novelty. It does so by introducing us to all those different families who have their own quirks. While the Domas family had some funny characters throughout, there were definitely some standouts that cast a big shadow over some of the other characters. With this film, most of the characters are well developed and given a bigger feel. This gives Grace more to bounce off of this time around. Also, by adding Fate to the mix, this helps bring that final girl aura she amassed in the first back down to earth. Grace has to earn back that level of superiority, and this wrinkle causes her lots of problems throughout the movie. It's always the younger siblings. If you know, you know. So is this a worthy sequel to one of my favorite films in recent years? Oh yeah, definitely. In fact, my personal opinion is that this film actually edges out the original because it takes the strengths of the first and builds on it, and manages to find ways to be more badass through some really, pun intended, killer moments. All in all, if you like your horror films to be fun, if you like them to be gruesome, and you like them to tell a good, well-contained story, this is absolutely worth your time. So my Night Watchers, that about does it for our Ready or Not 2 review. Have you watched Ready or Not 2? What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're rocking with me, make sure you follow for more. Oh, and one other thing. If you're selling your soul to the devil and his lawyer happens to pop up, he probably already owns it. Since you love horror, go ahead and like and subscribe to the Retro Matador channel so that you can get the next episode of tonight's horror review as soon as it drops. You are not going to want to miss the next one. In the meantime, click on this playlist to get caught up with some of my other reviews that you may have missed, and I will catch you on the flip.